Welcome back to Equine Photo School. I am your host, Ole Moss, as always, and today we are talking about printers. I get asked all the time about printers. It's probably one of the biggest questions, the most asked questions, and I want to cover it in this booth series. I have printed with a Canon Pro 100 since day one at Ole's Images. It just has worked, and it has worked great. Don't go and buy a Pro 100 because they're outdated. Go and get the latest, greatest. We're gonna go into, when we jump into the computer here, we're gonna go over what I would choose and why, and I talk about that a little bit when I talk about my Pro 100 too. That's enough rambling, let's dive into the video. This is the Pro 100. This is what I've used for the last 8 years since the beginning. This is not literally my first printer I had, but this is the model of the first printer I had. I've burned up probably 8 of these in the last 8 years, so about one a year.
And 2 weeks ago, these printers died, so I had to buy new ones. These ones are new, and it's because this humidity, it's a killer. We accidentally left it in, then it rained all night.
But I print 2 at a time. I use 2 at a time, and I have for the last probably 6 years. If fairly quickly we realized the benefits of having 2 printers at the same time. That was very apparent. These are very nice printers. They print 13 by 19 all the way down to like a 4 by 6 or maybe even smaller. They go borderless. They're very, very nice printers. This is the low end of the series, quote unquote low end. The Pro 10 and the Pro 1 are better, and now there's new models out. And there's the Pro 200. Don't go and get the Pro 100 because it's outdated. But what you'll also want to do is have a bag of ink for each color. Now, this is really important here to do because speed is the name of the game. So if your printer yells at you and says, hey, I'm out of yellow ink, you can grab the bag of yellow and just dig in here and you pull out, and you know this is going to be yellow because you've pre-sorted. So I will have at least 5 of each color for any given weekend. That way I'm not scared of running out of ink. I know that 5 will get me through most weekends. A lot of times these are very packed full. Sometimes I think a full bag is about 16 different cartridges, so something like that. So I just jam pack them full of ink and I don't have to worry about it. I just buy a bunch of bulk ink and bulk paper at the beginning of the year, and it gets me through the year, and I get that bulk discount. So printing on site is super, super important, but it can be very lucrative, but it comes with its own set of problems, right? So when you're printing on site, print at home a lot first. I would recommend printing at home, practicing, get to know your equipment so that when your booth crew has problems, like, you can help them, right? So you're not just saying good luck, see ya, whatever. You know, like, hey, if you open this and you wait, that will come over. If they're not printing, like something's not happening and nothing's printing, and your booth crew is just at their wits' end, they don't know what's going on, tell them, hey, flop that over and it'll print. And sure enough, you flop that over, boom, all of a sudden it's back into business. We always forget to flip that over after we've loaded paper back there. But you'll load paper back in there. This will flip up too if you don't have a wall right there behind you. If you're printing something big, flip that up, pull this out. But this goes down into this very compact kind of unit. We keep the box for this, super important. That box has great padding. It's only slightly bigger than this, but it's well padded. We keep all of the boxes so we can travel around the country with them. We just put them back in the box it came in. Super nice that way. I bought some covers on Amazon that were custom fit. I recently gave them away, but I embroidered Ole's Images on them. Just branding, putting branding. These usually, most of these, except for this one, I guess, had my Ole's Images decals all over it. So we'd put stickers on these, we'd put vinyl decals, we put these kind of stickers on, whatever. That way, people see that that's your printer, and that's, it's just branding, logo, everything, logo, all of it. Here's the reason why I bought these printers instead of going with the Pro 10 or the Pro 1, is because these are, for 1, they're faster. For 2, they're cheaper. And they print just as good, like almost as good. No one's gonna tell, especially not a team roper or anybody in the rodeo industry. If they're doing Western horse sports, they can't tell the difference between the print from a Pro 100 and a Pro 1. Okay, I promise you, there's no way. And this is faster. This is like 30 seconds for an 8x10 versus a minute and a half for an 8x10. And that is 3 times faster. So I can print 3 8x10s in this one before I can print 1 out of the other one. And so it's just massive difference there. Speed is king, but here's the big deal. When you destroy one of these, because humidity is like their Achilles heel, and if you leave this in the barn and it rains all night and you come in the morning and it's humid, this thing's gonna puke ink all over and you're gonna have to throw it away.
Pro tip. It's been my experience that fog that is this dense will ruin these printers. I use the Canon Pro series printers and like the Pro 100, and it will straight destroy that printer. You'll try to print on it and ink will just gush out everywhere. So yeah, it's pretty foggy today, and I wish I would have brought the printers in last night, but it was late. It was like 11:30 when we finally got home, or not home, but to my trailer. So we left the printers, and probably shouldn't have. So I'm gonna go in and check and see if they're still alive.
So what you can do is go to Best Buy and they have them in stock, and you just go pick one off the shelf and you're back in business. Where if you get the Pro 10 or the Pro 1, or you get some crazy huge Epson printer that's like massive, you're not going to be able to just go replace it in a heartbeat. So this is why I bought this, so it's faster and it's easily replaceable and it's cheap. So great. And you can find ink at almost any camera store, Best Buy. There's a ton of places to get ink. I buy them on Amazon in bulk, like I said. But all of this stuff is just stuff you can buy locally, and that's so important when you are in a jam and things go south. When your printer gets destroyed, you need another one because the event's not over yet. You don't have time to Amazon one in because you know what? Amazon doesn't usually deliver on Saturday and Sunday way out in the country, right? So having this nice Pro 100, and it's just compact, it's easy. You can see how dirty this thing is, but it just keeps on cranking out beautiful pictures because the internals are clean. It's easy to clean, it cleans itself, piece of cake, very user friendly. It's pretty easy too to calibrate this to your monitor and have perfect prints every time. I just recommend going this route. Okay, one more thing, talking about printers, you gotta talk about paper too. I get this Fenestra art, it's on Amazon. I always get Luster, and here's why. Luster reduces glare, which is cool, but more importantly, it reduces fingerprints. And what do our customers always do? They grab it with their grubby little fingers, right? They just got done eating French fries every single time. I don't know what it is about French fries, but people love to eat them and then come to our photo booth, pick up their pictures. What is it? So they'll come in there with their greasy little fingers and put greasy little handprints all over your nice new prints, or put them in those clear bags, which helps, but they always inevitably take it out of the clear bag and look at it with their grubby fingers. So having Luster will help with that, help reduce those fingerprints, and it reduces the glare when they put it in a frame and stuff, which is cool. But these are fairly inexpensive. I think 100 sheets of this is about 40 bucks. Pretty inexpensive paper, but it's really good, and I've had great success with this. Plus you get it on Amazon, so you get that prime shipping super fast. I love this paper, couldn't say enough about it. I've got it in every size that there is that we sell. So you want to stock a lot of it in 8x10s. You're going to sell a ton of those. 5x7s, you're going to sell crazy lot of those. And then 11x14s sell pretty good. 13x19s don't sell all that much, but when somebody goes and wins $100,000 or something, or $1 million, they're going to want a big picture of it, right? And they're going to want it right now. And so you want to have those big pictures available for people. It's just a nice to have. And don't sell it. Here's a pro tip. Don't sell it as a 13x19. Sell it as a 12x18 because that's common frame size. I've had so many people in the early days of all these images come back or they'll call me, hey, I'm at Hobby Lobby looking for frames and I can't find a 13x19 frame. And so, they think like they got to go get a custom frame for this thing. I'm like, no, just trim it down to a 12x18 and just give them a little extra room when for cropping. When you go to print it, just crop it a little wider than you normally would when you print that big stuff. But basically, get yourself some paper, get some ink and a printer, set up a booth, and you're in business.